It was crazy how we went from perfectly fine to everything went to total shit. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So this is a video I wanted to make for a really long time because it's been going on for March, April, May, June, July, for 5 months now. And I don't know, I just want to share my thoughts. I've wanted to make this one for like right when it started, but I've just been so busy with work that I didn't actually have the chance to make the video. But I just want to talk about my thoughts working in retail during a pandemic. So I do work in retail. I work at a store, corporation. I just think it's hilarious that I went from someone who never worked her entire life to starting a job, and then a couple months later, bam, pandemic. So that's something for the history books. I mean, when it first, I remember like the first talks of the coronavirus came out, and I don't know why in my head I was like, oh, it won't come here, we're gonna be fine, we're gonna be safe. And then bam, US. And then right away it was like bam, all these states. I was like, oh, my state is fine, nothing's gonna happen. And then cases started happening in my state, and I was like, wait. And I was like, oh no, my county's fine, we're a small little... My nephew is screaming. Sorry about that. I think my sister's giving my nephew a bath. So if you guys hear him going crazy, it's taking a bath. As I was saying, I don't know, and then the cases started surging, and I was like, oh no, we'll be fine. But then right away it was like, bam, full on pandemic, and then it was like, wait. I was like, wait a second, like, I'm working in retail, and then right away our county was like issued a stay-at-home order, and then I was like, is my job closed? But then I was like, no, we're this huge chain, we're not gonna close. And then I remember I got sick. Like, I got really sick. Like, I don't know, I'm like looking back at the symptoms, and I probably had it, which is crazy. I don't know if you guys watch my gaming channel videos, but I recorded Dragon Age Inquisition, and I was sick throughout that whole thing. So I would probably, I don't know, I'm looking back at my symptoms, and maybe. Anyways, I was sick for like a week, like when the whole stay-at-home order happened, so then going back, I was like, do I still have a job? So I went back. Everything was perfectly fine, but then, you know, they started doing like lines, only 10 people can come into the store at a time, and all that stuff, which I thought was great. You know, they limited the amount of people. This was pre-mask stuff, so we only had gloves at the time, so we just used gloves. Like, a lot of guests had their own masks, which was perfectly fine. I think I had a fabric mask that I took for a little bit. Oh wait, no, I had the one-time use masks. I don't know, like my mom had a lot of them. So I just used hers, and then work started supplying them, started supplying gloves and masks, which I thought was really nice. Yeah, it was perfectly fine when we had the lines, and, you know, 15 people, I think it was 15, not 10, 15 people can come in at a time, 15 people leave, 15 people come, which was perfect. I thought that was great. And so I was like, okay, that's cool, you know, not a lot of people are going to come in, only people who are perfectly healthy can come in. You know, if someone's coughing and they get kicked out of the store, which did happen the other day. It was crazy. I witnessed it, and I was like, ooh. But yeah, and like everything changed right away. It was crazy how we went from perfectly fine to everything went to total shit. Like, you know, every time we clock in, there's always a supervisor there going like, are you sick? Have you had these symptoms this morning? No? Okay, clock in, you can go work. And they're pretty intense at my work now, you know. There's like a lot of people, I mean, you have to be safe. They won't let you grab a mask and gloves if you haven't washed your hands. I remember like I was about to get some, but then someone in front of me, they're like, do you wash your hands? I'm like, no, go wash them, come back. And so I was like, okay, going to go. So they're pretty intense at my work about it. No one's really ever asked how I feel about it. I mean, they have like in the break room, not the break room, but like where we go to clock in, that room, they have like a wall of like, oh, like anxiety numbers you can call, like supplied by work. They're like, if you ever like need to talk to anyone, you can talk to us, like the supervisors, the directors of the store and all that stuff. But you know, no one's ever like really asked like, are you doing okay and stuff. And I remember one time a guest was like, oh, like, how are you feeling like for all of this? And like for the first time I was like, oh wow, like no one's ever really asked how I felt during all of this. So it was just like, oh, like I got really sad after that, and I like told him the truth. I was like, you know, I'm scared coming into work every single day, putting myself at risk. You know, I have a big family, and we're all together. We all, like a big family, like we all live in one house. It's not like they all come and stuff. We all live in one house. So I'm like, yeah, I'm scared, you know, but I make sure like I clean myself after after I put like, I wash my hands, I put gloves, and then I put hand sanitizer, whatever, and all that stuff. So I try to be as clean as possible. But, you know, like I was telling him, I was like, you know, it is kind of scary because I'm here seeing millions of people every day, and it's like, it's terrifying. So that was like no one's really ever asked. So when that happened, I was like, oh wow, like thanks for asking how I feel, because no one does that. And usually people complain about the masks. I mean, now that because now the store is open, we don't do lines anymore. So the store's open. People are always like, oh my god, these masks, and they're like taking off, and I'm like, dude, you're right in front of me, put your mask back on. But it's like, they always complain, and they're like, how do you stand it? And I'm like, oh, I just got used to it. And it's the truth. I got used to wearing a mask every day, and it's like, I have to wear these 8 hours a day every single day. Like, why are you complaining? You're here shopping for an hour? Like, you can't just deal with it? Come on. That's what gets me pissed off. There's like a lot of guests that are like, that complain about it, and I'm like, dude, what the heck? Like, a lot, yeah, like, it's like kind of freaky how a lot of guests are like, oh, these masks are terrible, right? And I'm like, no, I'm used to it at this point. Like, this is normal for me. This is a new normal. So yeah, it's just, ugh. And there's like a lot of guests that like complain like, oh my god, this totally sucks, right? And I'm like, well, yeah, but I'm not trying to put you or me or any of my coworkers at risk. So it's like one of those things you gotta be careful of. It's just crazy how you go from everything's perfectly fine to everything changes, and it's just the new normal. I know now they added like a new department. Well, not a new department, but like a new section of work that I think everyone in the store has done at this point, which is cleaning. And I've been scheduled to clean like literally maybe once or twice a week, and it's terrible. You just go around, you clean the entire store. Like, well, this is what I do. I start at the lockers, then I go to the break room, then I go to the front of the store and wipe off all the registers and stuff. Then I go to the bathroom, I go to guest services, and then I go to electronics. Then I go around the whole store, clean the displays. I go to the market section, clean all the handles and stuff. So it's just basically you gotta clean everything people might want to touch. And yeah, I go to the back too, and I clean all the well, I don't know what they're actually called, like where people store stuff and, you know, take out for the store. So there's just like that, like cleaning the whole store. So that's like the bit of the changes. But other than that, we just wear masks, gloves, make sure there's hand sanitizers now for us and for the guests too. So that's always nice. It's kind of weird, you know, there hasn't really been guests that have been fighting. I remember at the beginning, guests would try to like hoard items, but like we had like a limit on certain things. I think we still do, not on much things, but like in the beginning people would buy like 10 Lysol bottles, and I'm like, dude, I'm sorry, you can only buy one. And they're like, what? Why? There was no sign. And I'm like, well, that's what they told me up here. There's a lot of complainers, like I said, about the masks and it being so hot, and I'm like, I've had this on for 8 hours, you guys, every single day. So it's like, yeah. But there are some people that won't wear a mask, and when I'm sometimes, because we have people that clean carts and then give the clean carts to the people that walk in, and sometimes I'm like, oh, are you wearing a mask? And they're like, oh, I have a medical condition. And it's like, that's fine, I understand if you have a medical condition, but it's like, why are you coming to the store if you have a medical condition? You are the one that is at high risk, and I just don't understand. I don't know what else to say other than, I mean, I had everything in my head and now it just went boop. But yeah, it's kind of crazy how I just think it's insane. I went from not working and then right away I work, yay, congrats, and then bam, pandemic, and now I'm an essential worker. It's crazy. Basically what I just wanted to say in this video is that please be nice to any essential worker. They're trying their best. Like I was saying, you know, people don't ask about how we're feeling, and I'm terrified every single day of my life. I'm terrified. And so I just want you guys to know that we're all scared here. We didn't ask to be essential workers during a pandemic, but here we are. So just please wear a mask. Just wear a mask, please. Don't be an asshole. Just wear it. And if you don't want to, don't go out shopping. And yeah, I don't really have anything else to say other than just be nice. Do as you're told. Listen to what your governor is telling you, or I don't know about the president, but what your governor is telling you. My governor is pretty badass. Just be cool about it. Yeah, that's it. I don't really have anything else to say. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you whenever. Bye.